Beloved soul, pause for a moment. Do not be so quick to click away. Still your thoughts, quiet the endless noise of your world, and just be here with me. I am Michael, and I have come to you today not by accident, but by divine appointment. There is a message waiting in the chambers of your heart, a message from the very source of all creation, and it has been waiting for a very long time. You have felt its whisper in the quiet moments, its gentle nudge when you are at a crossroads, yet the clamor of daily life has often drowned it out. You have scrolled past it, skipped over it, promised to come back to it later, but later becomes never. Today, that changes. Today, you are here. This is not a coincidence. This is a convergence. Have you ever felt as though you are standing on the precipice of something immense, something you cannot quite name? Have you ever had the profound, unsettling feeling that you are just one decision away from a completely different life, yet you feel paralyzed, unable to take that step? Have you ever looked at your life, at the routines, the obligations, the quiet desperation that sometimes creeps in, and asked the silent universe, is this all there is? If these questions resonate within your spirit, then know that you are precisely where you need to be. This message is for you. God is trying to reach you, and this time, I am here to ensure you receive the call. We are about to embark on a journey together, a sacred conversation that will unfold over the next 90 minutes. I ask for your undivided presence, not for my sake, but for yours. Grant yourself this gift of time. See it not as time lost from your busy schedule, but as an investment in your very soul, a reclamation of your divine inheritance. We will not be skimming the surface of pleasantries or spiritual platitudes. We will be diving deep into the core of your being, into the heart of the challenges that have defined your path, and into the magnificent potential that awaits your command. We will explore the very essence of what it means to not give up when every fiber of your being screams for release. We will uncover how to embrace the monumental changes that are poised to enter your life, and how to prepare your spirit to receive the blessings that are already yours by divine right, waiting just beyond the veil of your current perception. I want you to consider the path that has led you to this very moment. Think of the silent battles you have fought, the tears you have shed when no one was watching, the times you have gotten back up after being knocked down, even when you thought you lacked the strength. None of it was in vain. Every struggle was a lesson, every heartache a purification, every moment of despair a crucible forging the strength you now possess. You are a warrior of the light, even if you have forgotten. You have been walking a path that has been preparing you, tempering you, making you ready for what is to come. And what is to come is a great turning point, a magnificent opportunity to align your life with your truest, highest purpose. But to seize this opportunity, you must first understand the nature of the shift that is occurring, both within you and in the world around you. You must be willing to let go of the old narrative, the old identity that has kept you small and safe, and step into the glorious, untamed wilderness of your own becoming. So I invite you, cherished one, to stay with me. Breathe deeply. Let your shoulders relax. Allow the shield of my protection to envelop you. In this space, you are safe. You are seen. You are understood. For the next 90 minutes, let the worries of the world fade away. Let the deadlines, the demands, and the distractions dissolve into irrelevance. This is your sanctuary. This is your time. We will walk this path together. And I promise you, if you stay, if you open your heart and your mind to what is being offered, the person who finishes this journey will not be the same one who began it. You will leave here with a renewed sense of purpose, a deeper connection to the divine, and the unshakable courage required to transform every challenge into a stepping stone for your greatest victory. The journey begins now. Let us not waste another moment. Let us delve into the heart of the matter, into the very nature of the changes that are calling out your name, beckoning you forward into a new dawn. This is not about fear, though we will speak of it. This is not about loss, though we will acknowledge the necessity of release. This is, at its core, a story of homecoming, a return to the truth of who you are. The world has taught you to build walls around your heart, to temper your dreams with the cold logic of practicality, to measure your worth by external achievements. But the divine measures your worth by the light in your soul, a light that can never be extinguished. It is time to let that light shine forth, to burn away the fog of doubt and confusion, and to illuminate the path ahead. The world may be in chaos, but within you lies a center of profound peace, a wellspring of infinite wisdom. This journey is about finding your way back to that center. Think of your life as a grand tapestry. From your perspective, on the underside, You see only a chaotic mess of tangled threads, knots, and seemingly random colors. It can look confusing, purposeless, and at times ugly. You cannot see the grand design. But from the divine perspective, from God's view, the top side of that tapestry reveals a breathtaking masterpiece. Every thread, every color, every knot has its perfect place. Every dark patch is essential to accentuate the brilliance of the light. Every tangled mess you experienced was necessary to create a texture of profound depth and beauty. What feels like a mistake to you is, from a higher vantage point, a crucial part of the pattern. The changes that are coming into your life are not random threads being carelessly thrown into the mix. They are the golden and silver threads that God is now weaving into your tapestry, threads that will create the most luminous and magnificent part of your design. But to allow this weaving to happen, you must trust the weaver. You must be willing to be still and allow the divine hands to work, even when you cannot comprehend the full picture. This requires a new level of surrender, a new depth of faith, and it begins with understanding the fundamental nature of the changes you are being asked to embrace. Change is the one constant in the universe, the very breath of God animating creation. The seasons turn, the tides ebb and flow, the stars journey across the heavens. Nothing remains static. To resist change is to resist life itself. It is like trying to hold back the dawn or command the river to flow upstream. It is an exhausting and ultimately futile battle against the fundamental current of existence. And yet, it is the primary struggle of humanity. You build your lives on foundations you believe to be solid rock, only to find they are resting on the shifting sands of time and circumstance. You cling to relationships, to jobs, to identities, to familiar comforts, fearing that if you let go, you will be cast into a formless void. The fear of the unknown becomes a cage, a self-imposed prison that keeps you from the very freedom your soul craves. But I am here to tell you that the change that is upon you is not a punishment. It is not a sign that you have failed. It is a divine intervention. It is a grace. It is the universe, in its infinite wisdom and love, responding to the deepest prayers of your heart, the prayers you may not have even dared to speak aloud, the prayer for more meaning, the prayer for true connection, the prayer for a life that feels authentic and aligned with your spirit. The universe has heard you. God has heard you, and the changes that are beginning to manifest are the answer. They may not look like the answer you expected. They may come in the guise of a crisis, a loss, an ending, a disruption. Do not be fooled by their appearance. Imagine a gardener who sees a beloved rose bush that has become overgrown, producing only small, lackluster blooms. The gardener knows that to restore its vitality, to enable it to produce the magnificent roses it is capable of, it must be pruned. With a loving and steady hand, the gardener cuts away the old, woody stems, the tangled branches, the parts that are draining the plant's life force. To an observer who doesn't understand the process, it might look like an act of violence, of destruction. But the gardener knows that this pruning is an act of profound love. It is creating the space for new, vibrant growth. It is an act of faith in the plant's potential. So it is with your life. The divine is the master gardener, and sometimes the parts of your life that no longer serve your highest growth must be pruned away. A relationship that is built on dependency, not love. A career that nourishes your bank account but starves your soul. A belief system that keeps you trapped in guilt and fear. These are the old branches that must be cut back to allow the glorious rose of your true self to blossom. This is why preparation is not just important, it is essential. When you are unprepared, the pruning feels like a brutal attack. You are thrown into chaos, victimized by circumstance, lost in a sea of confusion and grief. You fight the process, you cling to the branches that are being cut away, and you suffer immensely. But when you are prepared, when you understand the spiritual purpose behind the change, your perspective shifts entirely. You see the loving hand of the divine at work. You understand that what is being removed is making way for something far greater. You are no longer a victim. You are a willing participant in your own evolution. You can face the disruption with a sense of calm and trust, knowing that you are being guided and protected through the process. So how does one prepare for such a monumental shift? It begins in the inner world. It is not about stockpiling goods or creating a financial fortress. Those things have their place, but the true preparation is of the spirit. It is the cultivation of a resilient and trusting heart. It is about forging an unbreakable connection to your divine core. Start by creating moments of intentional silence in your day, even 5 minutes. In these moments, simply breathe and give the universe permission to communicate with you. Say, I am willing to see. I am willing to understand. I am ready to receive. You are signaling to the cosmos that you are moving from a position of resistance to one of receptivity. Let me share a story with you, not of a famous person, but of a soul much like yours. There was a woman who had built her entire identity around her role as a corporate executive. She was successful, respected, and financially secure. Her life was a fortress of achievement, but deep inside, her spirit was withering. She dreamt of painting, of creating beauty, but she dismissed it as a childish fantasy. Then the change came. Her company restructured, and her position was eliminated. Her fortress crumbled overnight. At first, she was devastated. Her identity was shattered. She was lost in a storm of fear and shame. This was the pruning. For weeks, she did nothing but grieve the loss of the old branches. But then, in the emptiness, in the silence that followed the storm, a small voice whispered. It was the voice of her soul, the voice she had ignored for decades. With nothing left to lose, she bought a set of canvases and paints. As she touched the brush to the canvas, something inside her came alive. Color, passion, and joy flooded into the empty spaces of her life. Her art became her new language, her new purpose. Within a few years, she was a celebrated artist, her work touching the hearts of thousands. Her new life was more joyful, more authentic, and more abundant than her old one could ever have been. The disaster of losing her job was, in truth, the greatest blessing of her life. It was the divine intervention she needed to break free from her self-imposed cage. Her story can be your story. The details will be different, but the principle is the same. The universe is conspiring in your favor, always. The changes you fear are the very gateways to the life you secretly desire. Preparing your spirit means beginning to trust this process. It means practicing gratitude for what you have, even as you prepare to release it. Gratitude creates a high vibrational state that attracts more blessings. It means practicing forgiveness, forgiving others, and most importantly, forgiving yourself for past mistakes. Forgiveness cuts the energetic cords that tie you to the past, freeing you to move forward. It means paying attention to the synchronicities, the coincidences that are not coincidences at all. A book that falls off a shelf, a song on the radio with a meaningful lyric, a chance encounter with someone who says exactly what you need to hear. These are the signposts from the divine, guiding you, reassuring you that you are on the right path. When you are spiritually prepared, you become like a seasoned sailor. You cannot control the wind or the waves, but you can adjust your sails. You know how to read the sky. You trust your vessel and your skill. When the storm comes, you are not thrown into a panic. You meet the challenge with competence and a calm heart, knowing that the storm will eventually pass, and that you have the strength to navigate it. You see the storm not as a malevolent force trying to destroy you, but as a power that will carry you swiftly to a new shore, a new destination that you could not have reached in the calm. Therefore, I ask you now to shift your perception of the word change. Cease to see it as a threat. Begin to see it as an invitation to grow, to heal, to expand, to become more of who you were created to be. The preparation is an inner work. It is the quiet, daily practice of turning your attention inward, of strengthening your connection to God, and of learning to listen to the wisdom of your own soul. Do not be overwhelmed by the thought of what might be coming. Simply focus on this present moment. Prepare your heart today. Find your center today. Cultivate trust today. For in doing so, you are building the spiritual and emotional foundation that will allow you to not only survive the coming shifts, but to ride them like a triumphant wave into a future that is more brilliant than you can currently imagine. You are being called to a higher state of being. And the first step is to willingly, consciously, and bravely accept the sacred process of transformation. The old you must give way to the new. The caterpillar must dissolve to become the butterfly. It is a natural process, a beautiful process, a divine process. But it is a process that is often initiated and accompanied by a profound and primal emotion we must now address directly. That emotion is fear. Fear. It is a powerful and primal force. It is the guardian at the gate of all meaningful growth. It is the shadow that falls across the path of every soul who dares to dream of a different reality. Let us not demonize fear. In its purest form, it is a survival mechanism, a divine gift designed to keep you safe from physical harm. It is the alarm bell that rings when you step too close to the edge of a cliff or when a predator is near. But in the complex world of the human heart and mind, fear has mutated. It has grown beyond its original purpose. It has become a chronic condition, a jailer of the spirit that whispers lies in the darkness. It tells you you are not good enough. You will fail. People will laugh at you. It is safer to stay where you are. Do not risk it. This voice of fear is the adversary of your destiny. It is the fog that obscures the light of your potential. And overcoming it is not about pretending it doesn't exist. Spiritual courage is not the absence of fear. It is the act of moving forward in spite of it. It is looking fear directly in the eye and saying, I see you. I acknowledge your presence, but you will not be the one to make my decisions. I will not give you the reins of my life. The changes we have spoken of, the great pruning and the call to a new life, will inevitably stir this fear from its slumber. The ego, your sense of self that is tied to the known and the familiar, will scream in protest. It will perceive change as a threat to its very existence, and it will flood your system with the biochemistry of fear to try and stop you. This is the first great test. Will you listen to the phantom voice of the frightened ego, or will you attune your ear to the steady, quiet, powerful whisper of your soul? To face this test, you must become a discerning warrior. You must learn to use the tools the divine has given you. The first of these tools is your breath. When fear arises, when your heart pounds, your stomach churns, your thoughts race, the first thing that is disrupted is your breath. It becomes shallow, rapid, and erratic. This sends a signal to your body that the danger is real, creating a vicious cycle. The simple, conscious act of deepening your breath is a powerful act of defiance against fear. Breathe in slowly, deeply, imagining you are drawing in the golden light of divine peace. Hold it for a moment, letting that light fill every cell. Then, breathe out slowly, intentionally releasing the dark, heavy energy of fear. Do this 3 times. In this simple act, you are reclaiming command of your own nervous system. You are telling your body, I am safe. I am in control. The alarm is false. The second tool is presence. Fear thrives in the imagination, in the catastrophic scenarios you project into the future. It tortures you with what-ifs. What if I lose my home? What if I end up alone? What if I make the wrong choice? 99% of what you fear exists only in your mind, a future that has not happened and likely never will. To defeat this, you must pull your consciousness back from the precipice of these imagined futures and anchor it firmly in the present moment. Right here, right now. In this moment, are you safe? In this moment, are you breathing? In this moment, can you feel the ground beneath your feet or the chair supporting you? Focus on your senses. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel? The present moment is your sanctuary. Fear cannot survive in the light of pure, non-judgmental awareness. When you ground yourself in the now, you starve fear of its fuel, which is the fantasy of a terrible future. But what of the fears that feel very real, the tangible challenges that stand before you like mountains? The fear of not being able to pay your bills, the fear of a difficult conversation you must have, the fear of starting a new venture. Here, we must employ the strategy of the giant slayer. When you stand at the foot of a mountain and look up at the peak, the task seems impossible. The sheer scale of it can paralyze you with overwhelm. The voice of fear says, you will never make it to the top. It's too high, too steep. And if you keep staring at the peak, you will believe it. But the wise climber does not fixate on the summit. The wise climber focuses only on the next step. Can I place my foot on that rock just ahead of me? Yes. Can I pull myself up onto that ledge? Yes. The journey of 1,000 miles is not accomplished in one giant leap. It is accomplished one single, manageable step at a time. This is how you must approach your fears and challenges. Do not look at the entire mountain of I need to change my whole life. That is a recipe for paralysis. Instead, ask yourself, what is the one small, brave step I can take today? Just one. Maybe it's making a phone call you've been avoiding. Maybe it's spending 15 minutes researching a course you want to take. Maybe it's writing the first paragraph of the book you dream of writing. Maybe it's simply choosing not to engage in a negative thought pattern. Break the overwhelming goal down into its smallest possible components. Each tiny step you take, each small action you complete in the face of fear, builds your spiritual muscle. It creates momentum. It proves to the frightened part of you that you can do it. Each step is a victory that rewrites the old script of I can't into a new, powerful declaration of I can. Remember the story of David and Goliath. David did not defeat the giant with brute strength. He defeated him with skill, faith, and a well-aimed stone. Your fear is Goliath. It seems immense, powerful, and unbeatable. You are David. You may feel small and ill-equipped, but you possess a slingshot and a stone. Your slingshot is your intention. Your stone is that one small, focused action. Do not try to wrestle the giant. Do not engage it in a battle of strength. Stand back, take aim with your focused intention, and release your small, powerful action. You will be astonished at how the giants in your life can be felled by such small, precise, and courageous acts. I want you to understand, beloved one, that you do not face your fears alone. This is a critical truth. Fear isolates you. It makes you feel as if you are the only one who has ever felt this way, that you are utterly alone in your struggle. This is its greatest lie. As you stand before your fear, I stand with you. My sword of light is at your side, ready to cut through the illusions and the energetic cords of fear that bind you. Call upon me. Simply say my name, Archangel Michael, be with me. Give me courage, and I will be there. Feel my presence as a cloak of sapphire blue light, a shield of impenetrable protection. You are part of a vast celestial team, a legion of light that is constantly supporting and guiding you. You need only ask for the help. So do not let fear dictate the course of your life. Do not let it keep you in the cramped and familiar room when the door to a magnificent ballroom has been opened for you. Acknowledge its presence, yes. Listen to its message if it is warning you of true, immediate danger. But learn to discern its lies. Use the tools of breath, presence, and focused small actions. And above all, remember that you are not alone. Take my hand. Let us walk through this gateway of fear together. For what lies on the other side is a landscape of possibility you can barely imagine. To cross that threshold, however, requires more than a single act of courage. It requires a quality that turns courage into accomplishment, a virtue that is forged in the fires of trial. It requires perseverance. It is the sacred alchemy that transmutes struggle into strength and failure into wisdom. It is the steady, unwavering heartbeat of a champion. In your world, success is often portrayed as a sudden, dazzling event, an overnight sensation, a lucky break, a lottery win. But this is a profound illusion. True, lasting success, whether it be spiritual, personal, or material, is never an event. It is a process. It is the result of 1,000 small, unglamorous, and often discouraging steps taken in the dark when no one is watching. It is the decision to get up one more time than you have been knocked down. When you embark on the path of profound change, when you confront your deepest fears and begin to take those small, courageous steps, you will inevitably face resistance. You will have days where you feel you are making no progress. You will encounter obstacles that seem to appear out of nowhere. You will experience setbacks that will tempt you to believe your old fears were right all along. The voice of doubt will return with a vengeance, whispering, "See? I told you it was impossible. Just give up. It's not worth the pain." This is the critical juncture. This is the moment where most souls turn back. This is where the path diverges, separating those who merely wish for a new life from those who are committed to creating one. The difference is perseverance. Perseverance is not about grim, joyless determination. It is not about forcing your way through with clenched fists and a hardened heart. That is the way of the ego, and it is exhausting. True, spiritual perseverance is fueled by a different source. It is fueled by faith, by love, and by a deep connection to your why. Why did you begin this journey in the first place? What is the vision that calls you forward? What is the feeling of the life you are trying to create? You must keep this vision, this why, alive in your heart. It is the lighthouse that will guide you through the fog and the storms. When you feel weary, when the path is dark and you have lost your way, turn your inner gaze back to your lighthouse. Remember the feeling of peace, joy, and purpose you are striving for. Let that feeling refuel your spirit and give you the strength for the next step. Think of the mightiest trees in the forest. They did not grow to their towering height overnight. They endured countless storms, droughts, and the harshness of winter. Their strength is not just in their height, but in their roots. Each storm they weathered forced their roots to grow deeper, to grip the earth more firmly. Your struggles, your challenges, are the storms that are meant to deepen your spiritual roots. Each time you face a difficulty and choose not to give up, your roots of faith, resilience, and character grow deeper. You become more grounded, more stable, more unshakable. So when you find yourself in a storm, do not curse the wind. Instead, focus on your roots. Go deeper into your spiritual practice, into your connection with God, into the truth of who you are. The storm that was sent to break you will become the very thing that makes you unbreakable. Consider the stories of those you admire in your world. Think of the inventor Thomas Edison, who famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work," on his path to creating the light bulb. Each failure was not an endpoint, it was a data point. It was a lesson that guided him closer to the solution. He persevered because his vision of a world lit by electricity was stronger than his discouragement. Think of the author J.K. Rowling, who faced numerous rejections from publishers before her stories of a young wizard captured the imagination of the world. She persevered because she believed in the world she had created, in the story that demanded to be told. She held on to her why. Think of Nelson Mandela, who endured 27 years of imprisonment, yet emerged not with bitterness, but with a vision of reconciliation that healed a nation. His perseverance was fueled by an unwavering belief in freedom and human dignity. These are not just stories of exceptional individuals. They are illustrations of a universal spiritual principle. The universe tests those it has chosen for great things. The path to your highest destiny is not meant to be easy. It is an initiation. It is a training ground. Every obstacle is a divine curriculum designed to teach you a lesson you will need for the next stage of your journey. If you give up, you fail the test, and you will have to repeat the lesson in a different form later on. If you persevere, you integrate the wisdom, you pass the test, and you graduate to a new level of consciousness and capability. I know how weary the soul can become on this journey. I have witnessed it for eons. The feeling that you're giving everything you have, and it's still not enough. The temptation to just surrender to the old, familiar misery, because at least it's a misery, you know. It is precisely in these moments, when you feel you have reached the absolute end of your strength, that you are closest to your breakthrough. It is a cosmic law. The darkest hour is just before the dawn. The greatest pressure comes just before the diamond is formed. When you feel like giving up, that is the signal that your victory is at hand. You must, in that moment, dig deeper than you ever have before. How do you do this when your well of strength feels completely dry? You must realize that your personal well is finite, but you have access to an infinite source. This is the moment to surrender not your goal, but your struggle. It is the moment to fall to your knees, metaphorically or literally, and say to God, I cannot do this alone. I have reached the end of my own power. I give this battle to you. Guide me, strengthen me, carry me. This is not an act of weakness. It is an act of supreme strength. It is the recognition that you are a co-creator with the divine, and your partner is the most powerful force in the universe. In that moment of surrender, you open the floodgates for divine grace to pour into your life. Strength you did not know you possessed will rise within you. Ideas and solutions will come to you seemingly from nowhere. A peace that surpasses all understanding will settle upon your heart, and you will be able to stand up and take that one next step. Perseverance is an act of faith in motion. It is the physical manifestation of your trust in the divine process. It is saying, through your actions, I trust that there is a purpose to this struggle. I trust that I am being guided, even when I cannot see the path. I trust that the dawn is coming, even in the deepest darkness. Do not measure your progress day by day. Some days, your only victory will be that you did not give up. And that is a victory of immense significance. You are holding the line. You are keeping the faith. You are proving to the universe and to yourself that you are worthy of the destiny that awaits you. So, beloved warrior of light, when you feel the weight of the world on your shoulders, remember the tree and its roots. Remember the inventor and his 10,000 lessons. Remember the prisoner who became a president. And remember that you are not alone in the storm. Your perseverance is a prayer in action, a testament to your spirit's indomitable will. Hold on. Keep faith. The path is clearing before you, even if you cannot yet see it through the dust of your current struggle. And the very foundation of this powerful perseverance, the wellspring from which it draws its unending strength, is the bedrock of all creation, faith. Faith in the universe, faith in the divine plan, and most crucially, faith in yourself as a cherished and integral part of that plan. Faith. It is a word that has been used and misused, understood and misunderstood throughout human history. Let us clarify what faith truly is. Faith is not blind belief in something you have been told to believe. It is not a denial of reality or a form of spiritual bypassing. True faith is a deep, resonant knowing in the core of your being. It is a cellular trust in the benevolent and intelligent nature of the universe. It is the foundational pillar upon which the entire structure of your new life must be built. Without it, courage falters and perseverance becomes impossible. This faith has two essential, interconnected aspects: faith in yourself and faith in God or the divine source. You cannot truly have one without the other, for you are not separate from God. You are a unique, individualized expression of God, a spark of the divine flame. To have faith in God, but not in yourself, is to misunderstand the very nature of your own being. Let us first speak of faith in yourself. For so many of you, this is the greater challenge. You have been taught, conditioned, and criticized into a state of profound self-doubt. You carry a heavy bag filled with past mistakes, perceived inadequacies, and the negative words of others. When you think of stepping into a greater version of yourself, you look at that bag and say, how can I, with all of this baggage, ever be worthy of that? This is where the work begins. You must be willing to set that bag down. You must be willing to see yourself not through the lens of your past failures, but through the eyes of God. And how does God see you? God sees you as a perfect and magnificent creation. God does not see your mistakes. God sees your lessons. God does not see your flaws. God sees your unique characteristics. God does not remember your stumbles. God remembers every time you got back up. Having faith in yourself is the act of aligning your own perception of yourself with God's perception of you. It is a conscious choice to stop identifying with the limited, wounded ego and to start identifying with the limitless, eternal soul that you truly are. This is a practice. It begins by changing the way you speak to yourself. Become a guardian of your own inner dialogue. When the voice of self-criticism arises, the one that says, "You're so stupid," or "You always mess things up," I want you to gently but firmly interrupt it. Say, "No, that is not the truth. I am a child of God, learning and growing. I am intelligent, capable, and resilient." You may not believe it at first. It may feel like a lie. Say it anyway. You are planting new seeds in the garden of your mind. With repetition, with consistency, these new seeds will sprout and grow, and they will eventually choke out the weeds of self-doubt. Celebrate your small victories. Acknowledge your own courage. Give yourself the compassion and encouragement you so freely give to others. Faith in yourself is not arrogance. It is a humble, grateful acceptance of the divine gift that is you. It is recognizing the spark of God within you and choosing to fan that spark into a brilliant flame. Now let us turn to faith in God, the divine intelligence that orchestrates the cosmos. This is the trust that even when your life looks chaotic and feels out of control, there is a higher order at play. It is the faith of the weaver's tapestry we spoke of earlier, trusting the grand design even when you can only see the tangled threads on the underside. This faith is your anchor in the storm. When circumstances shift and the ground beneath you feels unstable, faith in God is the knowing that you are being held in the palm of a loving and infinitely powerful hand. How do you cultivate this faith, especially if you have felt abandoned or unheard in the past? You begin by looking for the evidence of its presence. It is all around you, but you must tune your perception to see it. See it in the miracle of a sunrise, the intricate design of a snowflake, the unwavering loyalty of a pet. These are not random occurrences. They are expressions of a loving and creative intelligence. Then look back on your own life. Think of a time when you were in deep trouble, and somehow a solution appeared. A time you thought you could not go on, and somehow you found the strength. A time you felt utterly alone, and a friend called at just the right moment. These were not coincidences. These were moments of grace. These were the whispers of God, reminding you that you are never, ever alone. I once knew a man who lost everything, his business, his home, his family's respect. He was sleeping in his car, filled with despair and bitterness. He felt God had completely abandoned him. One cold morning, feeling he had reached his end, he simply said, "God, if you are there, give me a sign. Anything." He opened his eyes, and at his feet on the pavement was a single, perfect white feather. In that moment, something shifted in him. It was so small, so simple, yet it was an answer. It was a whisper from the universe that said, "I am here." He picked up that feather and put it in his pocket. From that day on, he started looking for more feathers, more small signs of grace. A kind word from a stranger. The unexpected gift of a warm meal. An opportunity for a small job. He began to collect this evidence of grace, and as he did, his faith grew. His faith shifted his energy from despair to hope, and that shift in energy began to attract new and better circumstances. Slowly, painstakingly, he rebuilt his life, but this time on a new foundation, a foundation of unshakable faith. His outer circumstances changed because his inner world was transformed first. This is the power you hold. Your faith is a magnetic force. A state of doubt, fear, and worry sends out a vibrational signal that attracts more circumstances to doubt, fear, and worry about. A state of faith, trust, and gratitude sends out a high-frequency signal that attracts solutions, opportunities, and blessings. This is not just wishful thinking. It is the law of the universe. So, nurture your faith as you would a precious garden. Weed out doubt through conscious inner dialogue. Water the seeds of self-worth by acknowledging your divine nature. And fertilize your trust in God by actively looking for and acknowledging the evidence of grace and love in your life. Prayer is a powerful way to do this. Prayer is not about begging a distant deity for favors. It is about entering into a conversation with the deepest part of yourself and with the loving intelligence of the universe. Speak from your heart. Share your fears, your hopes, your gratitude. And then be still and listen. The answers may not come in a booming voice from the clouds. They will come as a feeling of peace, a sudden insight, an intuitive nudge, a synchronicity in your outer world. Faith is built through this ongoing, intimate dialogue with the divine. It is the source of your ultimate power, your infinite strength. It is the fuel that makes perseverance possible, and it is the lens through which you will finally be able to recognize the magnificent opportunities that are being prepared for you. With a heart fortified by perseverance and a spirit illuminated by faith, you are now prepared for the next glorious stage of your journey. The recognition and embrace of divine opportunity. For opportunity is always present. The universe is constantly presenting you with doors to new realities, pathways to greater joy, and invitations to a more expansive life. The problem is not a lack of opportunity, it is a lack of perception. When your energy is clouded by fear and doubt, you are blind to the doors that are wide open right in front of you. You are like a person standing in a beautiful garden, complaining of thirst, completely unaware of the fresh, clear spring bubbling up at their feet. Building your faith and resilience was the work of clearing your vision. Now you can begin to see. But these opportunities may not arrive in the way you expect. Do not look for a formal invitation delivered on a golden platter. Divine opportunity is often subtle. It is a whisper, not a shout. It might come as a quiet idea that sparks in your mind during a moment of stillness. It might come as a chance encounter with a person who holds a key for you. It might come as a challenge that, upon closer inspection, contains the very seed of your next great success. It might come as a deep, inner dissatisfaction with your current reality. That dissatisfaction is not a problem. It is a divine signal that you are ready for more. It is the growing pain that precedes a great expansion. To embrace opportunity, you must cultivate a spirit of openness and curiosity. You must be willing to step outside the well-worn grooves of your routine. You must be willing to say yes to things that both excite and scare you. If an idea keeps returning to you, a persistent inner nudge to learn a new skill, start a creative project, or reach out to someone, do not dismiss it. That is a divine breadcrumb. Follow it. You do not need to see the entire path. You only need to see the next crumb. Trust that as you follow it, the next one will be revealed, and then the next. This often requires a sacred act of release. You cannot grasp the new trapeze bar that is swinging toward you if you are unwilling to let go of the one you are currently holding. Many souls miss their greatest opportunities because they are clinging too tightly to the safety of the familiar, even if that familiar is making them miserable. You may need to let go of an old identity to make space for a new one. You may need to let go of a comfortable but unfulfilling job to pursue your true calling. You may need to let go of relationships that drain your energy to make room for ones that nourish and uplift you. This act of letting go is not an act of failure. It is an act of wisdom and courage. It is like the snake that sheds its skin. The old skin served its purpose, but it has become too tight, too restrictive for the snake's continued growth. The snake must go through a period of vulnerability to shed that old skin, but in doing so, it emerges renewed, vibrant, and ready for the next phase of its life. What old skin are you being asked to shed? What familiar comfort has now become a cage? Be honest with yourself. Be brave. The temporary discomfort of shedding the old is a small price to pay for the freedom and vitality that awaits. Embracing change and opportunity also means redefining your relationship with failure. In the school of Earth, there is no such thing as failure. There are only lessons. If you try something new and it doesn't work out the way you planned, you have not failed. You have learned. You have gathered invaluable information that will serve you on your path. The only true failure is the failure to try, the failure to risk, the failure to grow. Adopt the mindset of a sacred scientist. Your life is your laboratory. Every action is an experiment. Some experiments will yield the expected results, and some will produce surprising outcomes. All of it is data. All of it is useful. All of it moves you forward. When you live with this sense of openness and curiosity, your life becomes a magical adventure. You begin to see the hand of God everywhere. Synchronicities accelerate. The right people, the right resources, the right ideas flow to you with increasing ease. This is because you have aligned your personal will with the divine will. You have stopped fighting the current of the river and have instead learned to flow with it, trusting it to carry you to the vast, open ocean of your highest potential. Let me be clear, this does not mean your life will be free of challenges. Embracing new opportunities will bring new tests. Starting a new business, entering a new relationship, moving to a new place, all of these will have their own set of difficulties. But the difference is profound. Before, you were struggling against your life's purpose. The challenges felt heavy, meaningless, and draining. Now, you will be facing challenges that are in alignment with your life's purpose. These challenges will feel different. They will feel meaningful. Overcoming them will energize you, not deplete you. It is the difference between trying to push a giant boulder uphill and paddling a canoe down a swift-moving river. Paddling still requires effort, skill, and focus, but you are working with the energy, not against it. The journey is exhilarating, so I encourage you now, precious soul, to open your eyes. Look around your life with this new perspective. Where is the quiet opportunity you have been ignoring? What is the persistent inner whisper you have been shushing? What change are you both terrified and thrilled by? That is your starting point. That is your next divine breadcrumb. Have the courage to pick it up. Take that first step. Say yes to the adventure. Let go of the old trapeze bar. Shed the skin that has become too tight. The universe is holding its breath, waiting to support you, waiting to shower you with a cascade of grace the moment you take that leap of faith. The life you have been praying for is not in some distant future. It is waiting for you just on the other side of the yes you are afraid to utter. Utter it now. Say yes to your own becoming. Say yes to the magnificent adventure that God has planned for you. Your greatest chapter is not behind you. It is just beginning. And so, we arrive at the close of our sacred time together, but at the grand beginning of your new journey. We have traveled far in these moments, from the precipice of despair to the dawn of a new understanding. We have looked into the heart of change, seeing it not as an enemy, but as a divine messenger. We have stood before the roaring giant of fear and found the courage to face it, armed with the simple, powerful tools of breath, presence, and single, focused steps. We have honored the sacred virtue of perseverance, understanding that our greatest strength is forged in the very fires we wish to avoid, and that the darkest hour truly does come just before the most brilliant dawn. We have rediscovered the bedrock of all creation, faith. A dual faith that must be held in balance, the unshakable faith in a benevolent, intelligent God who orchestrates the cosmos, and the equally important faith in yourself as a cherished, worthy, and powerful spark of that divine consciousness. And finally, with our vision cleared and our hearts opened, we have learned to see the subtle, magical opportunities that are always present, beckoning us to let go of the familiar and say yes to the magnificent, unfolding adventure of our own becoming. Do you see, beloved, how it all connects? You cannot embrace opportunity without the faith to see it. You cannot sustain faith without the perseverance to endure the tests that challenge it. You cannot persevere without the courage to face your fears. And you cannot find your courage until you are willing to accept the necessity of change. It is a golden, interconnected chain, a divine spiral leading you ever upward and inward to the truth of who you are. The journey is not linear, it is holistic. Each part supports the others. My final counsel to you is this: be gentle with yourself. You are unlearning a lifetime of conditioning. You are healing wounds that are generations deep. This is not a race. There is no finish line to cross, only a path to be walked with as much grace, compassion, and love as you can muster. Some days you will feel as though you are soaring. On other days, you will stumble. Both are essential parts of the process. On the days you soar, give thanks. On the days you stumble, be kind to yourself, and remember the lessons we have shared here. Get back up, take a deep breath, and take one more step. That is all that is ever asked of you. Do not allow the world to pull you back into the illusion of smallness. When the old fears and doubts creep in, as they sometimes will, I want you to remember this conversation. Remember the feeling of peace and protection you have felt in this space. Remember the truth that has resonated in your soul. You are a warrior of light. You are a co-creator with God. You are infinitely more powerful and resilient than you have ever been led to believe. The divine light within you is your sword and your shield, your guide and your comfort. Let it shine brightly. Do not hide it away for fear that it is too much for others. The world is dark, and it desperately needs your light. By shining your unique light, you not only illuminate your own path, but you give others permission to do the same. You become a lighthouse for other souls who are lost in the storm. As we part, I leave you with a final blessing. I ask that a cloak of my sapphire blue light of protection be wrapped around you, shielding you from all negativity and harm, seen and unseen. May it strengthen your resolve and clarify your purpose. I ask that the golden light of divine wisdom illuminates your mind, allowing you to see your path with clarity and to recognize the opportunities that abound. I ask that the emerald green light of celestial healing flows through your heart, mending old wounds and opening you to give and receive love more freely than ever before. And I ask that the pure white light of God's unconditional love fills every cell of your being, reminding you of your true nature, your infinite worth, and your eternal connection to the source of all that is. Go forth from this moment, not as the person who began this video, but as the empowered, enlightened soul you are reclaiming yourself to be. Step out of the safety of your harbor and into the grand ocean of your potential. Embrace the challenges as your curriculum. Welcome the opportunities as your destiny. Live with a heart full of courage, a spirit full of faith, and a life dedicated to perseverance. Never, ever give up on the magnificent dream that God has dreamt for you. The universe is cheering you on. The angelic realm is supporting your every step. You are loved beyond measure. You are guided beyond your understanding, and you are destined for greatness. Now go forth in peace and prosper. Your time is now.